What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sade. I have been gone for, it feels like forever, but really it's been like 3 to 4 weeks, I believe, for a lot of reasons, and this is why I want to do this video. You guys, hold on, let me take my gun off. Okay, there has been a lot going on, so as you guys may know, if you don't, I'll tell you. So I started a BSN program, and it is concurrent with my RN program, and I was not expecting the mental fatigue and just exhaustion that I've been experiencing. I kind of underestimated the amount of work that I would have to do, the amount of extra time that I would have to be, you know, doing, and just kind of like overall fatigue and exhaustion that I've been feeling. And when you get to a certain like mental fatigue like this, it does feel very similar to depression. My mood has been so low. My energy has been low. I've just been really just trying to maintain. So just a quick overview of the BSN program. Basically, since January, right, I've written 10 papers, 20 discussion posts, 180 responses to discussion posts, you know, virtual simulations and things like that, on top of being in block 3 with harder content, changes in the way that questions are answered, you know, application, and I'm still full-time, and I just finished my clinical rotation. So there's a lot to talk about. There was a lot that's been going on, and I had to make a decision to not film, and it was literally so hard, you guys, because I've pushed so hard and tried so hard to stay consistent with YouTube for an entire year, and I did. And so coming into the new year with all these fresh new goals and, you know, just ready to tackle and kill things, I fell through, and I felt like a failure, and I felt like, you know, like I was giving up on my goals, and just it was just a lot. Okay, so let's start with the BSN program. So basically, we write a freaking lot in the BSN program. We write and we write and we write and we write. It's literally all writing. And I love writing, right? But it gets to a point where it's like, okay, I've worked, I've done this 12-hour clinical, I've done this, I've done that, now I gotta sit here and write this paper. Like, come on now. It becomes too much. And I wouldn't say that it's busy work, because I have learned a lot from the BSN program so far, and I can see the difference between BSN and RN. Because with BSN, let me give you an example. We focus more on how to be a nurse with adolescents, and what are some cultural considerations, what is the development of infants, and you know, it's not skill based. You get what I'm saying? It's more like, how can this nurse tailor care to a person that's black, that's underage, that is poor, that, you know what I mean, like Native Americans and Hispanic communities, things like that. That's what BSN really focuses on, and I think that's why they always say that BSN, that they have better patient outcomes, is because it's a little bit more tailored beyond how to start an IV and how to do med math, and you know, what medication does this and what side effects, you know what I mean? It's beyond that, and I understand that, and I appreciate it, and I love the class. But when I'm adding it into my life and my lifestyle, it just became too much. Like, I literally have been waking up tired, I go to bed tired, and I just haven't felt like myself this past you know, since January started. Now, this is what made me stop filming. Okay, so with OB, I love OB. I love learning about it. It's been extremely interesting. I believe that's what I'm kind of leaning towards, being a postpartum nurse and couplet care, because at my clinical, it was absolutely amazing. I'll let you guys know how that went in a minute. But we don't have a lot of grades in block 3. Okay, and I don't know if this is universal or whatever, but for my program, we don't have a lot of grades. We have proctored, I think that's what I'm trying to say, proctored and non-proctored grades. Okay, So when I took my first quiz, I studied, but I wasn't studying like, you know, my butt off, because it's a quiz and it's worth 10 points or whatever. So I ended up missing two questions on that 10-point quiz. And that was my first grade. When I tell you it brought me from 100% to a 75%, I was like, off of one quiz that I got a B on, like, I'm really confused. So I basically went from being okay and to basically failing in that moment. And I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried. Not because I felt well, I did feel inadequate in that moment, but not because I did so terrible on the quiz, but it literally made me have a failing grade. And I'm like, okay, I really need to prioritize, right? Because that's literally all we learn in nursing school. Not all we learn, but you know what I mean. It's time to really prioritize and get serious about school, because I refuse to fail block 3 because I'm trying to maintain a YouTube channel. You get what I'm saying? So as much as I love YouTube, it's time for me to really like hone in on my schoolwork, because I have this much energy left, you guys. Literally, can you see it? Barely, right? Okay, I have that much energy left, and I have to conserve that energy for school. That's why I'm coming here in a freaking park, no makeup on, you know, just because it was like, it's so hard to film because I don't have the energy. And it doesn't even have anything to do with me prioritizing YouTube, because obviously, you know, my consistency from last year has proven that I am very dedicated to YouTube, but it just has to do with me having to go write a paper after I get off of the camera, me having to go do a virtual simulation, me having to go respond to discussion posts. And it's not like, oh, I like your post. It's like they have like a 6-sentence minimum, and you have to have a peer-reviewed article, and like it's a whole thing. So it's not that, like, just bear with me, y'all. I promise you, just bear with me. I'm not dipping off and ghosting y'all. Well, I did ghost y'all a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm working on myself. You know, that's one of my toxic traits. But just bear with me. So let's get into how my clinicals went. So my clinicals went absolutely amazing. I did triage my first day, and that was really cool. They do a lot of vaginal exams in triage, okay? Like their hands stay up there checking the cervix, because that kind of determines whether you're in true labor, whether you're in false labor, where you go in the hospital, if you go home, etc., right? Okay, so that was absolutely amazing. Lots of fetal heart monitoring, but they do that in, you know, every floor. But I felt like triage, it was really important, because that could determine whether or not they were going to go into labor and delivery or go home. So my second clinical day was labor and delivery. That was really fun. I was actually really surprised that the nurse to patient ratio wasn't that much. Like, it was either 1 patient to 1 nurse, or 2 to 1 nurse, depending on if that mom was like in active labor and like getting ready to deliver. So I pretty much had 1 patient the entire time. We took care of her. We set things up for delivery. You know, we demonstrated breathing techniques, did a lot of education, you know, started Pitocin. So I got to see that kind of action, you know, like just monitoring the contractions and things like that. And then I got to see a delivery, which it was so beautiful, you guys. It was one of the most beautiful. I could not stop smiling. Like, the baby came out so perfect. The baby was healthy. The nurse showed me how to do a full head to toe assessment, even though my instructor did too, but doing it on an actual baby, you know, putting her under the warmers, all of that good stuff, right? So I was like, wow, I really love this. Like, this was amazing. And I like the fact that you really get to like know your patient, get to really spend quality time with them. I feel like that's super important to me in my nursing career. I don't want patients to be just like, I don't want to be mindlessly working. I want to build connections. It helps me keep going. It helps me love what I do. That's just me. So I was really surprised that I'm really loving OB. Now, as far as postpartum was my favorite because you know, it's couplet, so it's both the mom and the baby. And so you do vitals on the baby, you do you know, vitals on the mom, you some of them may be on magnesium, so that was interesting to see. Just all of the book content really coming together was super cool to see. So I'm really loving postpartum. Postpartum has been my favorite thus far with nursing school. So I'm excited to share some more information about that. So as far as OB, I have about 3 weeks left of class until spring break, until I switch over to med-surg, and then I should be done with this semester by May 10th. So in the meantime, you guys, just bear with me as I figure out life, as I figure out myself, as I try to uplift myself, and yeah, like just getting over that hump in nursing school. I thought getting over the hump, you know, block 2 would make me feel better, but I actually feel worse. It actually got mentally harder this last year of school, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's the added nursing program. I'm not sure if it's just I've been doing this for a year now and I'm tired. I'm not sure what it is, but all I can do is try my best and try to maneuver things as best as I know how. So if you guys like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for being patient with me. I hope to see you guys in another video. Again, stay blessed. Let's encourage each other. Let's stay positive. The world needs more positive energy, more people supporting other people, and just spreading love, you guys. So I hope to see you soon. Again, my name is Sharday. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the post notification bell. I'll see you guys later.
Sunlight that always stays, dinner by the waterway. It's that sweet life. Raise your cross. Made some dude crack a smile. He asked if I could stay a while.